Hello everyone. Today I will discuss the lesson 3 in operations management, which is the vision, mission, and policies of business enterprise, importance of developing a business culture, set of shared values, and all about work ethics and positive mindset and attitude. What is general policy, mission, and vision? The general policy of the company encompasses all company principles, which are shared with all stakeholders either in a written format or sometimes by word of mouth. Company principles dictate the behavioral guidelines within your company and the external environment. They express the vision, company values, norms, and ideals, which make up your company culture. Through the establishment of a company policy, the management tries to organize the company as a whole and establish solid regulations. Company policy should not be comprised of a rigid system of a company guidelines, but it should convey a matter of thinking according to which one should react when faced with various external and internal developments, and which should also rate them in terms of their importance to the motivation and commitment of the company staff. Once this has been done, then the orientation and content of company strategy should be decided upon. Vision and vision are tools which help you formulate your company policy, a factor which provides clear orientation to the company. Nowadays, many businesses' ideas are referred to as vision. However, they should also be referred to as vision if the company features elements of its development that are future orientated. In other words, a vision is underlying idea for existing of the company. A good vision is characterized by the following three elements. The vision should not only be focused on collective, but it also should be directed towards the benefit of every worker who is employed in a company. One is a good vision can help reduce complexity. It can make processing and classifying of observation of environments much clearer so that the correct orientation and order is established. Second, the vision should be motivate employees. And third, a good vision is based on a long-term view of the enterprise and it provides safety, community, and stability. A mission statement is defined as a statement of a company's purposes. It is typically comprised of a statement on what the company is trying to achieve and very often defines. In broader terms, the business in which it operates, a mission expresses your company's fundamental reason for existence and the aspired benefits for all stakeholders. Therefore, if a mission outlines what a company is attempting to achieve on a short-term basis, then its vision offers a view of what the enterprise might become in a long run. What is organizational culture? It turns out it matters a lot. Organizational culture is usually important to the success and overall health of the company, your people, and your customers. So it's helpful to spend time considering why company's culture is the way it is and why it's important it stays that way or it may change. There are reasons why organizational culture is important. One is it defines your company's internal and external identity. Here's a thought exercise. Write down on a piece of paper 5 attributes that best describe your organization's culture. You might write something like good work-life balance or lots of meetings or maybe team-oriented. Now, spend a few minutes thinking about why each those attributes is important in your organization in particular. Why is it significant that company has a good work balance? What makes these culture attributes valuable to your people and customers? It explains that organizational culture defines for you and for all others how your organization does business, how your organization interacts with one another, and how the team interacts with the outside world. Specifically, your customer, employees, partners, suppliers, media, and all other stakeholders. In other words, your organizational culture is across all aspects of your business because it represents the way you do business. It's simultaneously your identity and your image, which means it determines how people and customer perceive you. Organizational culture is about living your company's core values. Your culture can be reflection of the company's core values, the way in which you conduct business, manage workflow, interacts as a team, and treat your customer all add up to an experience that should be represent who you are as an organization and how you believe in a company should be run. In short, your culture is the sum of your company's beliefs in action. But if your spouse value don't match your culture, that's the problem. It could mean that your core value are a list of meaningless buzzwords and your people know it. A strong organizational culture keeps your company's core values front and center in all aspects of its day-to-day operation and organizational structure. The value of doing so is incalculable. Next is your culture can transform employees into advocates or critics. One of the greatest advantage of a strong organizational culture is that it has the power to turn employees into advocates. Your people want more than a steady paycheck and good benefits. They want to feel like what do they matters. And when your people feel like they matter, they're more likely to become culture advocates. That is, people who do not contribute to your organizational culture but also promote it and live it internally and externally. How do you achieve this? One way is to recognize a good work. A culture that celebrates individual and a team success, that gives credit when credit is due, is a culture that affects a sense of accomplishment. And that's the way to turn employees into advocates. And then, if your company culture doesn't do this, you may be inviting criticism. Another is a strong organizational culture help your best people. It should come as no surprise that employees who feel like they're part of community rather than a cog in a wheel are more likely to stay at your company. In fact, what most job applicants are looking for in the company. As any top performer, what keeps them at their company, and you're bound to hear this answer: the people. It's because a workplace culture focused on people has profound appeal. It helps improve engagement, deliver a unique employee experience, and makes your people feel more connected. One way to attract top performers are natural culture champion is to hire for cultural fit. Another is a well-functioning culture assists with onboarding. Organizational culture has the potential to act an aligning force of your company. This is particularly the case with new hires who, more often than not, have put some considerable thought into the type of culture they're entering into. The culture at your organizational is essential a guiding force for them, so it's important that it start with onboarding. Your culture transforms your company into a team. A successful organizational culture brings together the people at your company and keeps them aligned. When your culture is clear, different perspectives can gather behind it with a common purpose. The culture of at your organization sets expectation for how people behave and work together and how well they function as a team. In this way, culture can break down the boundaries between teams, guide decision making, and improve workflow overall. On the flip side, a toxic organizational culture has the capacity to do just the opposite. Another is a culture impact, performance, and employees' well-being. Reports show that organizational culture has a direct impact on performance and, more importantly, your employees' well-being. A healthy culture addresses both of these areas by finding an appropriate balance based on the company's values. Does your company stress performance to such degree that you feel like a physical and mental health are being overlooked? There might be instances when that may not be a problem, but the vast majority of cases, it have a negative effect on your company. What is shared values in organization? Creating and implementing shared values is important for our organization. They provide guidance for organizational decision making and also provide a kind of ethical compass for organizational action. Shared values are organizational values that are usually developed by organization's leadership and then adopted by the other members of the organization. The values are shared and followed by all members of the organization when acting on behalf of the organization. They may also be referred to as core values. Workplace values are guiding principles that are most integral to the way of company works. These deeply held principles enable companies to choose between the right and wrong ways of working, and they help employees make important decisions and career choices. These values are the foundation of company's culture, which shapes the workday experience of each employee. It determines whether employees enjoy their job or engage with the company and want to remain a part of it. Put simply, a company's values and the culture they create can spell the difference between success and the failure. In fact, according to the research, 94% of executives and 88% of the employees believe a distinct corporate culture is important to a business success. The same survey also found a strong correlation between employees who claim to feel happy and valued at the work and those who says their company has a strong value. The way people behave is deeply rooted in their values. They act as a guide on how to interact with others. So whether they've been in business 10 minutes or 10 years, they feel comfortable because they know what's expected of them. When employees share their company's values, they more informed decision. Shared value also unify the company as a whole. It's a fine thing when employees are able to form strong bonds with the enterprise as well as the college. Sharing the same kind of beliefs and values as the people around them not only helps people to bond with times are good, it also allows them to create social safety net they can depend on in times of uncertainty, stress, or change. There are benefits of a strong corporate culture. One is employer retention. A strong company culture is one of the best ways to attract and retain top talent. People naturally want to work for companies with a positive culture and will be willing to make their workplace at home rather than just stepping stone to another job. Second is employee and customer engagement. A positive culture with shared values fosters loyalty. When employees feel they're being treated right, they're far more likely to enjoy coming to work every day. And when customers are happy with the company's values, it's very way of dealing with them. They're coming back. The third one is collaboration. Employees are more likely to come together as a team at companies with a strong culture. A positive culture facilitates social interaction, teamwork, and open communication. When collaboration is encouraged, it can result in a better product, services, and innovation. And lastly, the improved performance. A strong company culture has been linked to higher rates of productivity, as employees tend to be more motivated and dedicated to employers who invest in their well-being and actively seek to boost their morale. Companies which place a high value on wellness, a good work balance also reap the benefits of reduced workplace stress and lower absenteeism. What leading CEO says about culture and values. Employees who believe that management is concerned about them as a whole, not just an employee, are more productive, more satisfied, more fulfilled. Satisfied employees mean satisfied customer, which leads to profitability. From an former CEO of Xerox. The way I think about culture is that modern humans are radically changed the way they work and the way they live. Companies need to change the way they manage and lead to match the way that modern humans actually work and live. It is from Brian, a CEO of HubSpot. Another is there is a high cost associated in building a culture. Team retreats, gym membership, personal and professional development classes. All this is facilitate the personal evolution of each person who contributes to the company. It is from David, founder and CEO of 155. If you are lucky enough to someone employer, then you have a moral obligation to make sure people do look forward to coming to work in the morning. It's from John Mackey, CEO Whole Foods Market. Values impact one-third of every employee's life. People spend more than a third of their lives at work. As a result, their managers represent an extremely important social group, possibly the most important one outside of the family. Sharing values with that group stimulates the brain reward response, and one of the most important ways in which can agree in through sharing workplace value. The importance of corporate values and culture they engender cannot be overstated. Today, most successful companies know that to attract and retain both employees and clients, they must define and instill values that make their organizations not merely good but great. What is the work ethic and its purpose? In its simplest definition, a system of moral principles is called ethics. They affect how people lead in their life. For life is an unbroken stream of decision making, and ethics are concerned with what is the right moral choice for individual and for society. This is also known as moral philosophy. Ethics are therefore concerned with this sort of moral decision, how to live in ethical life, rights, and responsibility. Right and wrong language, what is good and bad, and so on. Contemporarily, notions of ethics had been handed on from philosophy, religions, and global cultures. Ethics are debated into topics such as human rights, rights to life, and professional behavior. In a business, an ethical code is a defined set of principles which guide an organization in its activities and decisions, and the firm philosophy may affect its productivity, reputation, and a bottom line. Among staff, ethical behavior ensures work is completed with integrity and honesty, and staff that are ethical adheres to policies and rules while working to meet the aims of the enterprise. An ethically positive, healthy work culture enhances morale among employees. Traditionally, work ethic has been understood as a value based on hard work and diligence. Capitalists, for example, believe in necessity of working hard and ability of enhancing one's character. Socialists suggest that a concept of hard work is deluding the working class into being loyal workers of the elite. And working hard in itself is not necessarily an honorable thing, but simply a way to create greater wealth for those at the summit of economic pyramid. These values has been challenged and characterized by as submissive to social convention and authority, and not meaningful it in itself, but only in a positive result accrues. An alternative perception suggests that the work ethics is now subverted into broader and readily marketed to the society. This perspective has given us the phrase work smart. In recent times, many say that work ethics is now absolute, and that is not true any longer, that working more means producing more, or even the more production leads to a better life. This is, of course, not to be confused with the quality productivity. There are importance of work ethics. Those with a strong work ethic have inculcated principles that guide them into work behavior. This leads them consistent higher productivity without any prodding that many require to stay or on track. Therefore, whether staff are naturally this way or need to be trained, if possible, into such an attitude is determined by the managers. One is production work, and second is cooperation. Production work is individual with a good work ethic are usually very productive people who work at a faster pace. They regularly accomplish work more quickly than those who lack a work ethic, for they do not quit until the work which they are tasked is completed. At least in that part, this is also due to the fact that they wish to appear to be stronger employees, and they wish to appear to be a more benefit to their managers and the company. Cooperation is a work can be highly beneficial in business entity. Individual with a good work ethic know this well. They understand the usefulness of cooperation, like teamwork. They often put an extensive amount of an effort into working well with others. Such people usually respect company authority enough to cooperate with anyone else with whom they are paired in a polite and productive way, if it's the individual in the question are not ethical inclined. Ethics in organizational culture. Employers, executive, and employees all adhering to an ethic code stimulate an ethical work culture. Business leaders must be led by exhibiting the behavior they wish to see in employees. Reinforce ethical conduct may by rewarding employees who showed integrity and values that coincide with company policy and discipline those who are wrong ethical decision. Positive ethics culture improves morale in a business. Plus, it may increase productivity and employee retention, which cuts the cost of employee financially benefiting an organization as improved productivity improves company efficiency. There are basic work ethic for an organization. Uniform rules and regulation. An ethical organizational example is the common treatment of all staff. Example is with the same respect regardless of race, culture, religion, or lifestyle with equal chances of promotion. Therefore, small company managers should desist for favoring any one employee, for it can lead to lawsuits and it's also highly counterproductive. Second is communication of the rules and regulations to all employees. Company policies must be clear, communicated to each employee with transparency at all levels of the employees. Third is respect for the employees. Respect employees and in return receive the same. Regulation should not be so rigid and therefore don't expect staff to attend work 2 days before a marriage. If somebody is not well, don't ask them to attend office unless or until there's an emergency. Another is allow a degree of freedom to employees without a constant micromanagement. Key roles of responsibility needs to be established on the first day of joining with responsibilities commensurate with the person expertise. Employees should be inducted into training if needed. Another is clear-cut salary and promotion policy. Employees grieve if they are underpaid. Make sure they get what is deserved and decided in the presence of the person. A major attrition factor in the poor appraisal promotion prospect are ideally based on merit, not favor. Clarity is crucial. Another is clear and uniform holiday schedule. It is the responsibility of human resource professionals to prepare the holiday calendar at the beginning of the year and circulate the same among all employees. Another is effects of the work ethics within an organization. A workplace ethics culture will ensure the employers guide and mentor staff appropriately while management treats all as equal. Transparency is essential. And lastly, how leadership ethics and employee ethics can impact the organization. Owner and executive level of accountability is a vital function of leadership. Executive as equally as employees are expected to be honest and transparent. Organizations need to abide by ethical norms, all of which benefit the consumers, the society, and the firm. There are core ethical elements that define the ethics of an organization. A written code of ethics and standard, ethics training for executive managers and the employees, the availability of ethical situational advice, and confidential reporting system. How to develop strong work ethics? One is be professional about your work. Second is manage your time. Third is keep a balance and deliver consistent high performance work. And lastly, develop good work habits. Professionalism is beyond a clean shirt, for it includes one's value, attitude, and demeanor. Practice being cordial and positive while refraining from gossip. Knowing how to communicate constructively and positively while respecting the feelings of others is a invaluable tool. Respect others and develop a reputation for having integrity, meaning honesty, fairness, and consistency is what you do and speak. Second is manage your time. Know your strengths and weaknesses. Evaluate work, identifying one's weaknesses and making a plan to improve these areas builds a stronger work ethic. One way is evaluating to create a list summarizing the skills and requirements of the work and the strengths and the weaknesses. Be honest about weaknesses and what is it that distract you. This is the step one in learning to manage those weaknesses. In keeping a balance and deliver consistent high performance work, do sports, sleep well, and socialize. Play is the best when it earns equally sleep. Earn sleep by working hard on the one's goal in a day. A good work ethic isn't just being glued to a computer. It is also understand how to take care with a decent sleep and eating nutritious food. Take time to relax and recharge while keeping priorities in your life clear. Helps remain a good perspective in work. And develop a good work habits. Steer the self-development path towards choosing an employee with a strong ethic after all. Creating a habit for oneself is really a question of being action-minded people. The doing component flows easily when embracing the being part. When creating and learning habits is valuing punctuality and attendance, valuing time, ordinance, neatness, and speed, working smarter but not harder, being psychological self-employed. Fourth one is playing an internal game of working yet enjoying the importance of relaxation and rest. And do it now, habit, never leave till tomorrow what can be accomplished today. Good ethics, both attitude, action, and how you do, what do you do in this moment. Another good habits are get off to the good start, clean up and get organized, plan activities, streamline work and emphasize the important work, concentrate on one work task at a time until completion, work steadily, make a smart use of technology, be in control of office paper, work in basket or email, multitask on written manners, make better use of time, don't use to create some quiet, uninterrupted time. And last lesson is all about the core elements of a strong work ethic. It is difficult to define the elements of a good work ethics, and is such as individuality approach and thinking. What may be good work ethics for me may not be the same for you. Much depends upon how each organization or person looks at work ethics and the moral values that each follows. What moral values you practice in daily life will define your attitude towards work and your work ethics. But there are few common elements that universally followed and employers look for its employees. Honesty. This is the core elements of work ethics. All the other elements are based upon your honesty. Be honest about your success and failures. Take credit only where due. Do not steal others' work or ideas. And own up your failures. Integrity. Do not let people down. Try to fulfill your commitments and be consistent in your thoughts, action, and behavior. Alertness is being aware of what is happening around and keep an eye on things. Share your ideas, results, and resources with the other team members so that everyone has the same opportunity and know what you are doing. Being secretive is counterproductive. Another is respect for others, no matter how urgent a deadline or heated that tempers become. Remain diplomatic and poised and show grace under pressure. Whether serving a client, a meeting customer, or meeting with management, do the best to respect others' opinion even in stressful circumstances. It shows one values other individual worth and professionally contribution. Reliability and dependability means being punctual for work and meetings, delivering assignments within budget and on schedule. Be reliable about keeping promises for reputation precedes one so that the client customers do trust in you to do all that you say you will. Everyone appreciate the stability that embodies. Another is determination. Obstacles can stop you as they are challenged to be overcome. Embrace challenges positively and know what is role. It is the solve problem with purpose and reliance. Another is accountability. Accept responsibility personally for one's action and outcomes in all situations. Plus, avoid excuses when work does not proceed as planned. Confidentiality. Any confidential information of documents you have should remain confidential. You cannot discuss it or show it to anyone else other than the people authorized to do so. Another is legality. Always work within the legal boundaries. Do not break or twist the law to fit your agenda. Professionability. From now, one dresses and presents oneself in the business world to how others are treated. Professionalism is such a very broad category that it encompasses all the elements of the work ethics. Humility. Acknowledge others' contribution and share credit for success. You have integrity and are open to learning from mentors and others, even as you teach via your action, example, or words. Though you take the work seriously, you are also maintaining a sense of humor about yourself. And lastly, initiative. Do not afraid to put forth your ideas or volunteer for work. These days, our work ethics is important in many situations. It is a skill that can be learned in every person and has so often proved to be the path of success for many. All businesses give a higher regard to an ethical employee, and hiring staff with positive ethics is appreciated around the world. Simply stating that I have a good work ethics is not the way to demonstrate to an employee. Don't provide generic, wishy-washy utterings. Allow the employer to visualize your ethics by defining how they are incorporated in your accomplishment without condition. Thank you. That's all for our lesson for today.